My dear friends, today in the midst of our Lenten journey, the Church invites us to pause and contemplate the feast of Saint Joseph, the husband of Mary and the guardian of Jesus. This feast gently yet powerfully challenges us to understand Lent, not merely as a season of external practices, but as a call to radical obedience to God. Joseph and Mary stand before us as two extraordinary yet profoundly humble figures. Their lives were simple, hidden, and ordinary, yet marked by immense courage and faith. As a couple, they lead us into the heart of Lent, showing us what it means to trust God when His plans are unclear and His demands unsettling. Saint Joseph, in particular, is an exemplary man of faith. He listens to God not only in prayer, but through the unfolding events of life. He accepts Mary as his wife in an extraordinary and humanly incomprehensible situation. He welcomes Jesus as his own son, embracing a mission he did not choose but was entrusted with. Joseph speaks no words in the gospel, yet his obedience speaks louder than any sermon. We might imagine that Joseph and Mary were given special divine help to explain themselves to family and relatives, to avoid misunderstanding, hostility, danger, and hardship. But the gospel tells us otherwise. There is no miraculous intervention to smooth their path, only the quiet strength of faith. God's call placed them within the limits of their human strength, asking them to serve, trust, and persevere. In this, God allowed Joseph and Mary, and later Jesus himself, to face family struggles, cultural pressures, and danger in an ordinary way. Why? So that when we face similar challenges in our own families, relationships, and faith journeys, we may find courage in their example. Their holiness was forged not in comfort, but in faithful perseverance. This is precisely how Lent works in our lives. God's call each of us to conversion, penance, and charity, not usually through dramatic events, but to ordinary and often difficult choices. Lent challenges us to trust God when forgiveness feels impossible, when breaking bad habits is painful, when charity demands personal sacrifice, when we struggle to forgive someone who has deeply wounded us, when we are called to let go of our sinful habits, or when we sense a call to help someone in need. Joseph and Mary show us the way. They did not rely on extraordinary signs or assurances. They simply did what God asked, trusting Him enough to face the consequences with courage. Finally, Saint Joseph has much to teach us about Christian parenting and family life. His foundation was not rooted in the culture of his time, but in God and His call. As husbands, fathers, and parents, we are invited to ask ourselves, is my faith truly rooted in God and the gospel? Is this the foundation, the bedrock of my relationships, my parenting, and my family life? Brothers and sisters, may Saint Joseph, silent servant and faithful guardian, intercede for us this Lent. May he teach us to listen, to trust, and to obey, so that in the ordinary circumstances of our life, God's saving work may quietly and powerfully unfold. And for this, let us pray.